This is Poppy, an 8-year-old buckskin mare, and she has trouble with deworming. So this is our first session here, and you're going to see her act up a little bit, be very resistant, not want anything to do with this dewormer, especially once it goes in the mouth. And so we're using a method here called approach and retreat. And when I'm able to touch Poppy on the face, really anywhere, and she stands still for 5 to 10 seconds, then I'm going to retreat and I'm going to rub her. And we're going to go back and forth doing this until she's more comfortable here. Obviously, there's many different ways to do this. Some people would just put a chain on her nose, snatch her around a little bit, you force the dewormer in her mouth, and obviously that can get the job done, but she will not be standing quietly to do that. And what I am wanting to happen here is to teach her to stand quietly and to just accept this and know that nothing bad's going to happen. I can touch her on her nose with this object. I'm going to kind of poke at her a little bit, and then I'm going to retreat. And you're going to see a few different sessions here going back and forth, and I just do a few minutes at a time. I'm also going to do a little touch and rub here on the pole. So when I push down on her pole, if she comes down even an inch, I'm going to retreat and rub her. And what you guys are going to see throughout these videos is all of a sudden, over the course of about 9 minutes, I think I have about 9 minutes of video footage, Poppy's head is going to end up being very low. So what I'm doing here is I'm rewarding the slightest try. So when she gives me that inch of coming down off of that pressure, and here she's kind of bouncing, that's why I'm holding it. I'm kind of waiting for her to relax. There we go. We're going to build off of that, and then it'll be a couple of seconds, and then a few seconds, and a lot of seconds, and all of a sudden we'll have our head down. And this is not something that takes years to do. I mean, again, over the course of a few days and a few sessions, and about a total of 9 minutes here, I videoed every single session, start to finish. You're going to see it makes a big difference. Pressure and release. And here we go on to our second session and a change of clothes, because this is what happens in Alabama. We have 4 seasons in one day sometimes. Anyway, this session will go kind of similar to the first, and we may have some more good moments. You see here when I go to touch her with the face, she sort of evades a little bit and pushes into me. And I'm going to redirect that, and I'm going for just stillness. That was a little better there. And again, we're just approach and retreat. Approach and retreat. Sometimes I'm going to put it in her mouth. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes just being able to touch the horse on the nose or on the face with a dewormer tube is the starting point. So establish your starting point, and then we build from there with this approach and retreat method. So you're going to see a few minutes of this. If you hang in here and watch this video, you'll see a few minutes of me just kind of continuing the same process that we did in the earlier session. Here we go to session 3. Now in this session, you start to see a lot less head violence, I guess is what I call it. She is going to move away from me some, and there's going to be some twitching. We may throw her head around just a little bit, but now here in session 3, we've made a big improvement from the first 2. And you can just tell by how much more level her neck is, her head is lower, even just, the softness of her eye. When she does sort of root into me a little bit, now we're getting down to just a little nudge. And here, it's hard to see in this shot here, but here I am doing a little touch and rub on the pole. She is pole sensitive, a little ear sensitive. We're going to see all of those things start to melt away. And Poppy's going to become softer and just more accepting of me tinkering with her here and doing whatever. So I'm using a syringe. That's my fake dewormer tube, but it's the same stimulus. And as you can see, that went much better. And here we're very soft for our head rubs, very submissive, much more relaxed. Going to rub the ears. Really get a good reward here. Much, much better for Poppy. Our 4th session, again, going to go pretty well here. Getting much better at touching the pole. I'm not having to press nearly as hard with my hand up there. I can go directly to her mouth now with my fake dewormer tube. She is overall staying much more level. You can just tell there's nowhere near the tensity that we had. She's pretty happy to be standing there with me. Doesn't mind if I'm going to ask her to lower her head or stick something in her mouth, because she knows all is going to be well. There, I'm holding the tube in her mouth and just letting her chew on it a little bit, almost like a bit. No big deal.